We believe in fighting when you fight fair and when you fight like not to win, but to actually have some type of resolution and to grow in a way, because then you can grow and resent people, and then you can go later on in life, you don't even realize what you're resenting each other about because you didn't have those conversations. Those are conversations, these fights that we're talking about are things that allow each other to grow, to voice.
I want to tell you guys something, that what Jackie's really good at on a lot of things is really getting me to change my perspective, getting me to shift out of my current state of how I'm thinking. She gets me to see stuff differently, and I think this is super important. If you want to really protect your marriage, you need to know how to use analogies to allow each other to see things the same. And I'm gonna give you an example. So let's say that me and her are getting into it, right? And I'm like, no, dude, like this is stupid, or maybe somebody calls somebody a name or something, right? Like, you're just like out of like the love state now. Like we're getting to where we're getting hateful, right? And every couple will get to this at some point in their life in some way. You don't have to yell to do it. You just do it, and you're not being you, right?
Yeah, you're just trying to win.
Yeah, you're just trying to win. And you're trying to hurt the other person because you're hurt, right? And Jackie always says, what would you do if someone came and said what you just said to me? If we were at a gas station right now and a guy walked by and he just said what you said to me, what would you do to him? And I'm like, I'd kill him. And she's like, why is it okay for you to hurt me when you love me? I married you, I'm with you, and it's not okay for a stranger to hurt me. Like, you should care about me more than a stranger, right? And I'm like, damn, I don't like that. Like, I don't like when you tell me things that make me understand that what I'm doing to you is not good. And by the way, she's good with words, which really in our company, that's what we teach, is like how to be a master communicator, like how to communicate. But instead of, you saying, hey, don't talk to me that way, she's like, how would you feel if a stranger at a gas station, we were getting gas, they came by and they said that to me?
Well, just
how would you feel if they said that to me? And I'm like, damn, like I would kill that guy, so.
But you can even, like, not even the gas station. It happens in families. Like, it could be the mother-in-law that's telling the daughter something, and then the husband gets so pissed off because she's telling them something, and then they're like, they don't want to talk to them anymore. But then you go, and then the husband and the wife are saying the same thing to each other, but they're so pissed that the mother-in-law said it, and they're saying the same exact thing. But here, it's okay. And there, when it's outside sources, it's not okay. And then they develop a hatred that lasts for the rest of the relationship that they can't get over. Like, it's a double standard. That's what we call it, a double standard. So you have to really think in that sense,
Well, and I think one of the ways that our relationship has also always stayed like pretty strong, really powerful, is, Jackie made a rule early on, which was good. Some of you right now, it's not too late to adopt this rule, but Jackie made a rule early on where it was like, we're not ever going to speak negatively about each other, okay, to our family or to our friends or to anybody.
Yeah, to my parents especially, or
anybody.
Anybody.
But really anybody, like not even your best friend. I mean, like, because I'm just giving an example. If Jackie had a best friend and me and her got in a fight, and then I said something to her, and then she went and told her best friend's never going to forget what I said to her.
Yeah. Or then you're happy later on.
Yeah,
then you're holding hands and kissing, like,
great.
Look, remember when he did this to her? They're stupid,
Yeah,
they'll never forget that.
They're never going to support the relationship anymore.
Especially your parents, because your parents have a different kind of love for you. So they're always like, think that they're protecting you in the sense, but they never forget.
Well,
just think about if you had a daughter and then the boyfriend calls her a name or does something to her.
Yeah, you're never going to forget that guy.
You're never going to forget the guy because she's your freaking daughter. Like, that's the thing. So.
Well, and that's the deal. Like, people, once you tell somebody about something that happened with them, that somebody they love, like, they'll never forget it, right? And then time's going to pass. It's always going to get better, right? Because people have fights. That's a part of life. Well, what you say during that time with that fight will determine how those people support your relationship forever. And it's like, we've never told anybody about any of the fights that we've had. So a lot of the people, they just envision that we just have this greatest life ever, when really me and Jackie probably fight more than anyone in the world. But we fight most of the time about how to level up, how to become better people. And by the way, we have 5-minute fights. Like most people fight for days.
I think a lot of people misinterpret fights.
Yeah.
Fights.
Talk about a definition of a fight.
Well, fighting is like not agreeing with something and voicing your opinion. We believe in fighting when you fight fair and when you fight like not to win, but to actually have some type of resolution and
Yep.
to grow in a way, because then you can grow and resent people, and then you can go later on in life, you don't even realize what you're resenting each other about because you didn't have those conversations. Those are conversations, these fights that we're talking about are things that allow each other to grow, to voice. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't say they don't like something because they just don't want to avoid that, and it always surfaces later. You don't really get to know the person that you're next to, and whether you like it or not, it's always going to be something that's going to come out or be affected with later, because it's just digging in, it's digging in and digging in, and you have little tiny little paper cuts, and they just keep adding on, and then you don't even know how to identify why you can't really even look at each other anymore, because you have all of these like little things that bothered you throughout the time. We speak to so many different couples that have been together for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, I remember we were in a couples mastermind, right? Me and you were putting on, we do these couple mastermind every 6 months about how to become badass power couples, right? And I remember we had this couple sitting right over here, and they've been together like 30 years, right? And, you know, you could tell they were separated. I don't mean like in life, but they were kind of not sitting next to each other. They were listening. And by the end of the day, they had leaned into each other. They were holding each other's hand, which they really could tell they hadn't done in a long time. But the guy stood up and he goes, I realize what happened. He's like, number one, like I never let her be heard. Like every time she would say something that was maybe bothering her, I would, not intentionally, but I would shut her up because I thought she was nagging me or doing this or doing that. So one day she just quit voicing her opinion. She quit talking. And that's what Jackie talks about, death by 1,000 paper cuts. It was like inside, like it was this paper cutting your heart that she couldn't speak her mind. She couldn't talk openly because they would fight about it. So she felt like she couldn't be heard. After 30 years of that, they're ready to get a divorce because and not for any specific reason, like somebody went out and cheated on somebody.
Yeah, they didn't really know why. They didn't know why they were resenting each other. They couldn't even identify.
They don't fight about anything. They can't even talk about it because there's just things that they can't talk about. I mean, how many people right now, they literally can't talk about certain topics because there's always a fight. Well, those fights, like Jackie talks about fighting for resolution, it's like, dude, like I just need to make sure that she's heard. And then I need to be like, okay, I understand that. And then if she is everything to me, then I need to be like, hey, well then how can we be better together?